Hey, I'm Rob Rush, and you are watching The Kate Fox Show. For those that are in the know.
You're watching the Kate Fox Show. I'm Kate Fox, and we are here this evening with Rob Rush,
Hello, how are you?
and we are at Rob's home.
Yes, this is the home of Connoisseur Media. This is one of the studios, actually, because the Shark Studio is currently being used by somebody. So this was the WHLI studio, and now it's back to Studio A. And we still do WHLI stuff out of here. So we're technically in a production studio right now.
Okay, good to know.
Good to know.
And this is where you spend how many days a week? Is it only 5 or is it 7 or how does it work?
It depends. It's about 5, 6 sometimes. I would say on the average it's about 5.
Okay.
Come in 10 a.m., leave by 7, sometimes 7:15, and then that's it. Come back again and do it all over.
Right. And then but you also do double duty at the station at the Paramount when there are shows?
Yeah,
or...
when there's shows, like specific shows. Well, I should clarify that every night we're there for Shark After Dark. It's a different jock every night. But if we're having like special concerts like Buck Cherry, I don't even know who we have coming up because it's so early in the year. But if there's a band like Hailstorm, for example, I know they're playing there in April. So we would be there only for shows that really fit to broadcast my shift,
which makes sense.
Which is only I'm on 2 to 7 Monday to Friday, but we're Paramount. I would do 5 to 7. And usually the band would come down in the 5 o'clock hour, and then 6 o'clock to 7. Just I'll be there, and actually we'd be there from 6 to 10. So.
Okay, and then you go watch the show.
And everybody can look at you like you're in the bowl, you know? Yeah, if I want, I can hang out and watch the show. Sometimes if I'm feeling old, I'll just be like, I'm going home. I'm good.
And I mean this as a compliment. I don't see you feeling old because honestly, and we've been connected on social media. We've met. Mm-hmm. I've seen you around here and there. But when I got a good look at you, I was like, dear God, he's young. You have this baby face.
Well, you should see the portrait in my basement. Let me tell you. All right. If you don't know that one, that's a Dorian Gray joke. The Portrait of Dorian Gray. Children, read up on that one, okay?
He's educated, too.
Yes, I'm educated. Well, I appreciate that. And you look very young, too.
Well, thank you.
I think it's the glasses.
I think so, too.
I think it's the glasses.
We already established we're 4 eyes. So you have, you just had an anniversary.
I did, of sorts. 21 years on the air professionally. I started in October of 1998. At WLIR.
And you were there for how long?
I was there for about a year prior as an intern.
Okay.
And then from on the air, October of 98 to December of 03. And then I came here to 94.3. At the time, it wasn't the Shark. It was called Island 94.3.
Really?
Yeah. And then what happened was when WLIR was up for sale, this company, it's Connoisseur now. It was Barnstable Broadcasting / the Long Island Radio Group then. They took myself, John Daniels, who's still on KJOY, and Malibu Sue. So they took the WLIR voices and brought us over here to Island 94.3. And then it changed to WMJC, and that was on for a while. And then 2010, it was changed to 94X, which was called Hit Music for Generation X. And it looked good on paper, but when you got to listen to it, it was like Smells Like Teen Spirit into like Hypnotized by Biggie into En Vogue into Wilson Phillips.
That's a lot.
They tried to model it like I don't want to say an oldie station, but they tried to model it like when we were younger. If the oldie station would play like the Bee Gees, and then you would hear the Eagles. Sonically, it sounded good, but hearing Biggie into Soundgarden didn't really work. So that was only about a year and almost 2 years. And then it became the Shark in September 2012. So I've been on every incarnation of 94.3 since December of 03. So that's going to be, 17 years almost.
Wow. And you've grown.
I don't know which way, that way, I don't know. One way or
well,
another.
What was it, 2018 you were named program director?
Yes, good, yes. October of 2018, I was named program director. And I was always doing production too. So that's always going to be my first love, making commercials and producing all stuff. But yeah, they asked me to do it, and I was like, "You sure you want me to do it?" And they were like, "Do you want it?" I'm like, "Eh." They were like shocked. They were like, and I was like, "Well, usually the program director is the first person to get clipped." So, but they knew that I didn't know anything and that I was going to learn, and it's been an experience. So it's been fun. We try to change things up here at the Shark.
That's really cool. That's great.
I try.
I mean, technically, you started as an intern.
I did. I started as an intern.
And you worked your way up to program director.
I never thought about it like that, actually. But I mean, I just looked at it as I started as an intern, and then I'm still here.
So,
knock on wood.
That's what I meant by growing.
Well, thank you. Okay, now I see what you're saying.
So, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Appreciate that. Thank you. And you've grown too. Your show has started out a few years back, and now you've had numerous guests on. I see. Camera woman could do a little bit better, but that's just besides the point. But yes, do you enjoy doing what you do?
I love doing.
So now, let me ask you: when you do interviews, how do you go about it? Like, do you prepare? Like, how do you prepare? Because I know how I prepare, but how do you prepare?
And it's funny. I was going to ask you about your interviews, but I personally do a little bit of both. I like to have preparation, but I also like to sort of make it organic.
Okay.
And feed off of what comes at me. So I will research, but I don't research as much as some might.
Okay.
Purposely.
Yeah, sure. Because you want to just see what happens naturally?
Yes.
And what happens if nothing happens naturally?
Then I talk a lot more.
Okay.
And try and fill in what I do recall from my research and try and pull something. And I've had a couple of those. I'm sure you have too. And you try and pull something out of the person, but you're the one who's doing the whole interview then. And they sort of sit there and agree with you as to what you're saying about them. And that hurts sometimes, right?
Same, trying to do that. Yeah, no, I've had hard interviews too. But yeah, it does hurt. I just, the one thing I learned, I guess, about interviews long ago was you can't be you got to take the fan, if there is any aspect out of it. You can't fangirl or fanboy in front of certain people because, let's face it, I mean, the bands will come, they'll call, they're not calling me because they want to be my best friend. They're calling me because they have a product that they want to promote. So you can't, be too fangirly about it or fanboy about it, So I just try to, like you said, I know what I got to ask them and then see where it grows naturally. Right. Yeah, so it works. Sometimes. Brian Wilson was a hard one. Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys.
I wouldn't want to do that.
That was a hard one. It was just kind of, Paul McCartney says that God Only Knows is probably one of the greatest songs ever written. What do you think? Yeah, I agree.
Oh my gosh.
Are you still there? Because he was on the phone. So yeah, that was hard.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but you get through it somehow.
You do get through it. And you know what? We're talking about getting through it. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. And we're back. And Rob, we're talking about, you started as an intern here out of college and you've been working with the station and growing as it's changed, taking on new responsibilities, new jobs, but you also do an inordinate amount of voiceovers.
Big word. Yeah, I do. An inordinate amount. Wow, that's good. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess...
Or it feels that way.
Well, I mean, when I do it all, there's 5 stations here, so it's not only the Shark, but it's KJOY, there's Walk 97.5, there's Max FM, which is 103.1, and then there's WHLI. So all those commercials that I would do might be on all those 5 stations, or 2 of them, or 3 of them. It's about 10 years ago, I started doing News 12.
And News 12.
Yeah, so that's probably where you hear it on the TV. So it's the billboards, which is, News 12 Long Island is brought to you in part by, and then there's the regular TV commercials. And I guess I do a lot now that I think about it. Sure, why not? An inordinate amount.
See, I'm educated too.
I didn't say you weren't. The camera woman was talking some stuff.
You're making me laugh. It's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, what do you like best? Oh, no. Before I even ask you that, we're going to the Mets.
Oh, the Mets. Okay, what do you want to know?
Well, how long have you been working with the Mets?
I started there, the same time I started here, about 6 months later. So August of '04 was my first game that I did at Shea Stadium. Yeah, that was really nerve-wracking. And it was funny because, in life, sometimes they say it's the people that you know that you get certain places. When I interned at LIR, Alex Anthony was the production director, and he was the longtime PA announcer for the Mets. And then he took over full time in '04, and he called me up one night and he goes, "Hey, are you near New Hyde Park, near the Dublin pub?" I said, "I could be." He goes, "Somebody wants to meet you." So I went down there and I met this guy Vito Vidiello, and he said they were doing auditions. He liked my voice, and I basically did one quick audition. They liked it, and I started shadowing Alex, and I was the backup PA announcer and still am for all these years.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. So when Alex left in 2018, I had to do like the first 30 games, but to do the games and then to be here was a little too much for my schedule. So I just have no problem being the backup, calling me when they need me to come in, and I do all of the concerts for the Mets. So if there's a concert at Citi Field, I do the PA. So not a lot of work, but it's cool.
It is cool.
Yeah, I do some of the interviews with players. Like they have a stadium, they have an auditorium inside of the stadium, probably about 100 seats, maybe 150. So I did Mike Piazza. We did a Q&A 2 days in a row, which was pretty fun. And that was cool because, that was a little different element because I'm supposed to really carry it in front of, I never did it in front of a live studio audience. There was like 150 people, and I'm starting it. And then there was moderators that would have a microphone, and they would just say, so-and-so, Kate wants to ask this question, and they would ask, and pressure was off. It's like, all right, Mike, you can answer all this. I'm just going to stay over here and relax.
Wow, that's right, because you're mostly contained.
Yeah. People think, look at this is really what you're talking to. When you're talking to a radio station, you're talking to a wall. You're talking to these soundproof panels, basically.
That makes sense.
Unless when you're at the Paramount, then the people start looking in at you, like you're a fishbowl.
And when you're out announcing shows and things like that, then you're in a live audience now.
But in terms of like when I was doing that with Mike Piazza, it was
that
I wasn't used to like an audience watching me do an interview. That's what I was saying. Well, then I guess with the Paramount, it's a little bit of a different audience, but.
And you're protected, actually. Even if you have people watching you, you're behind that glass.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a little bit of a buffer of sorts.
Yeah. Of sorts. It's only glass, let's face it. So.
Well, agreed, but it's not air. They can't reach through it.
That's true.
You're protected in some way.
Okay.
If that's an issue of sorts, again, I'm going to say.
Not an issue at all. I'm a very loving person.
You are very, very nice, very accessible to people.
Who paid you to say all this stuff?
No one. I write my own check. I wrote it today. It was a 0.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know. I never believed in ego. Why have one? I mean, everybody has an ego to a certain extent, but in terms of, having that air of, douchebaggery.
Well, confidence versus arrogance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Somebody, I'm not gonna. I don't know. I just never believed in it.
It doesn't serve a purpose, really.
Yeah, I'm a people person, so.
You are. Agreed. You are. And you. Well, I actually accosted you to get this interview. So
yes,
and you were
one of the security guards at the Paramount still busts my chops to this day about you running up to me. Yeah, so I won't live that one down. So thanks for that one.
You're welcome.
I will hear that until whenever it happens.
Well, I had seen you like almost a year before,
mm-hmm.
and I didn't get to speak to you. And even though, like I said, we're connected on social media, but I hadn't seen you out and about. And all of a sudden, I was there, and I looked, and I was like, oh no, and just because why not?
Why not?
Right?
You don't know unless you ask, right?
Agreed. And that's, if you don't ask, the answer is always No.
Exactly. Now, how long have you been doing this show for?
The Kate Fox Show, actually, the sit-down interviews I have been doing, March will be a year that I've been airing them weekly.
And now, if I recall correctly, you were doing some sort of radio show, were you not, over the internet?
Yes, I was.
See?
Oh, I'm impressed.
Okay. I'm just saying, you know.
But yeah, I did. In 2016, I briefly did a show called Sometimes Adversity Isn't. And
Yes.
It was fun.
Mhm.
And it was people, as a survivor, I wanted
Well, I was
to
going
reach
to say, your
out.
story is very awe-inspiring, too, because of your cancer surviving, you know.
Thank you.
So,
You keep throwing me, though.
I do.
You do your research, too.
You know, sometimes you want to know who's asking you questions. You know?
Agreed, and it's the right thing to do. But yeah, so I did. I did Sometimes Adversity Isn't. Then I didn't do anything for a while, and I started working with Village Connection briefly, and I was doing a show which I loved doing. I actually love doing radio.
Yes, that's where I remember you did Village Connection. Did you have my friend on, Billy Mirror, or was that somebody
I
else?
did not.
Okay.
He was on my list,
He was
but
on the
I
list.
did
You
not.
could take him off
And
the list. Just
and,
kidding, Billy.
You know, it morphed. It morphed into this. You know, there were changes at that station, and so I sort of pulled back. And I know I have a nice, large network.
Mhm.
You know, and I know a lot of interesting people. I think.
I think you do.
So I said, well, I'm going to go independent because I like to do. I think you're so interesting. You know,
At least
so
somebody
I
does.
want to, but it's true. So
Thank you.
I get to go out and interview people that I think are interesting. You know, whether it's a disc jockey, whether it's a rock star, whether an author. You know, I have that leeway because I don't have to answer to anyone but me.
Yeah. Now, what rock stars have you interviewed?
So who have I interviewed? Now you just threw me off because I actually. In my head, I'm thinking of Tattoo Tony, who actually worked with Brett Michaels.
Oh yeah, I know Tony very
And
well.
I
He's a good
consider
guy.
him a rock star.
Yes,
I
Tony
love
is a
him to
rock star.
pieces.
Tony's a great guy.
He's a rock star. Everybody loves Tony. I do have a couple of interviews that I have scheduled coming up with former members of Fraley's Comet.
Okay.
Joel Hoekstra from Whitesnake were
Very nice guy.
arranging it. So,
Mhm.
Such a sweetheart.
Very nice
And
guy.
but I reached out to him right when he was working with Cher, Whitesnake, and getting ready for TSO.
Yeah, he's
so
a
you know what?
busy boy. Mhm. He's a
That's
busy
not
boy.
going to work. So I sort of pulled back, and I'm going to circle back and get it arranged with him.
Okay.
But and you know, I do the conventions. Those
Okay.
are fun too. You know,
Like Comic Cons and stuff.
I don't do the big Comic-Con. I don't do that. But I go to the smaller ones because I want to
There's one
see the
I
interesting people.
I love going. I haven't gone in years. Chiller Theater. Have you ever gone to that
I
one in
need to
Jersey?
go to Chiller. I
That
have a
was
ton
fun.
of friends that go up
Yeah.
there, you know, and
Oh
do
yeah,
it.
it's fun. You know, you go and you see all these people. And
Yeah,
it's
and
kind
it's
of cool.
it's everybody though. It's wrestlers, rock stars, actors.
Yeah. Uh huh. It's not just.
It's everything.
Yeah, it's not just comic people.
No.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's and you know what, a lot of these things have grown so that they're not just comic people.
Yeah.
They've
Mhm.
become more mainstream, and you have a mixed bag of artists, authors. Actors. Then you have a few cosplayers over there,
Yeah.
and it's just so it's what do you want to see,
Mhm.
you know? And that's I got to talk to the amazing Kreskin. Have you talked to
Did he,
Kreskin?
I've never spoken to Kreskin. No. Did he read your minds?
He did.
Was
He found nothing there.
Aw. Well, maybe that's because he's a fraud. I don't know.
No, he's actually a very, very sweet man.
I heard he's a
Very
nice guy.
sweet man.
The amazing Kreskin.
Have you met Dominic Giannese?
Uncle Junior.
Yes.
No, I have
He's
not.
a doll.
Yeah,
He's an absolute doll.
I have not. But I did interview from The Sopranos, Steve Sharippa,
Okay.
Little Steven, which was one of the best
Oh,
ones
yeah,
I've
yeah.
ever done, and that was live. Me and Orlando were huge Springsteen guys, and that was in front of him, which was kind of I think we sang in front of him. He started laughing.
Oh.
Yeah, which was kind of funny. So that was cool. Yeah, I think that anybody else from The Sopranos. I think those two. So that's it.
I don't know. You should come out to the Mom Movie Con with me in April.
Maybe I
Atlantic City.
will. Oh, AC, huh?
AC.
An
They've got
overnight
all.
stay.
They've got all sorts of gangsters.
Oh, really? I'll have to check that one out. All right.
I'll give you the details.
Please do.
All right, we're going to take one more break and we'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Tattoo Tony. And you're watching the Kate Fox Show.
How you doing?
I'm back with Rob Rush, and Rob, I'm having a blast with you. First
So
of
am
all,
I.
I
So
have
am
to
I.
say, but I want to know, what is your favorite thing to do? Out of everything that you do you have a favorite?
You mean here or outside of here? Like work-wise or non-work?
What do you want to share?
What's my favorite thing to do? I'm kind of low-key. I mean, I like going out. My friend Billy, he sings at the Polo Lounge at the Westbury Manor Thursday nights.
Very cool. Hi, Billy.
Hi, Billy. Hi, Frankie. So I go there and I hang out with him. My buddy Sal from the Stern Show goes there. Sal Governale.
Oh.
Sometimes we'll hang out. I just keep it low key, you know. I like watching movies. I said I don't believe in resolutions, but I said because I believe you can change every day. But I did say to myself I want to read more in 2020, so I'm trying to read more books.
Oh, I like that one. Yay.
But that's a little bit hard because it's like there's so many good things on TV with all these subscription things now, like Netflix and Hulu, and plus regular TV. So it's like
There's so many good things in books.
there is, yeah, but you know what? Like my problem is I'll read only like before I go to bed, and it's like I get through like 3 pages, and you know, I wake up with the book on my face, you know. So it's like I could read if it's a 100-page book, it'll take me like 3 weeks to read like 4 pages, you know, just one night.
That's funny.
But I am reading Salem's Lot.
Oh.
That's what I'm reading right now. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I like that whole kind of Stephen King genre.
Okay, that works.
Mhm.
That works.
So that's what I enjoy. Just hanging out. I like concerts.
You better.
I do, but it's different now, you know, because like sometimes when I go, you know, it's more sometimes networking stuff.
Yes.
So, and you know how it is because you know a lot of people, and then you know you're trying to watch the show, but there's
You
a lot
can't
of people,
always.
you know, it's a lot of static, you know, coming at you. So
Because you're working, even though
yeah.
you're there to enjoy yourself,
yeah,
you're always working at
Mhm.
something like that
Yeah.
because it's part of what you do.
yeah. I like watching sports. You know, I'm just a regular man. I just like to hang out, have a good time,
That's all right. That
do whatever.
works.
You know.
What's your favorite thing to do work wise?
My favorite thing to do work-wise.
The best
Like
part.
I said, my first love will always be production. So doing commercials and making commercials, or making like the promos for the radio stations, or because you know you're putting together something that's not there. So if a client comes to you, let's just say, trying to think, the Polo Lounge, Westbury Manor. If they come to us and say we want to do a commercial to promote our trios that play every night, you know, you have to write it, you have to put it together, you have to visualize what kind of music sounds good, what kind of tempo you're going to read, voice wise. So that's cool because you're actually creating something from
Yeah.
nothing. So
I like that.
that'll always be my favorite part. Program director is cool. You get to, you know, pick the songs, and you know, you have to come up with ideas for promotions and write the copy and schedule the jocks, and it could be a little tedious at times, but you know, like I said, my first love will always be making commercials.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very. Now, is there anything else you haven't done that you wanted to do? Is there something you want to do when you grow up?
That's a good question. Professionally or just anything?
Sky's the
more.
limit.
Maybe travel a little bit more.
Okay.
You know, I don't know if I want to like skydive or anything like that.
No.
Maybe. I just take it as it comes, really, one day at a time. Travel more, try to read more, you know, love more.
Aww.
Did that make you melt? All right, good.
In the end, the love you make.
It's the love you make.
Yeah,
Say
actually, yeah. The love you take is equal to the love you make.
something like that.
I'm sorry, Beatles. I love you. But that's a good philosophy.
Yeah, that is very good philosophy.
And
What
if
do you
you-
want to be when you grow up?
I'm doing it.
Oh, okay, good.
I'm doing it. This is I finally realized, you know, I personally just put out my 4th book,
Good for you.
and I do this, and
How
I
many
love
pages
it.
is it? So I know I can
Well,
base it on
You
how
can
many
read
nights
mine
I'll fall
because
asleep.
I'm a poet.
Did
I
you
have
know
I
it?
have four. Yes, I did. I have 4 small poetry collections, so I
Okay.
can hook you up with
All
stuff
right.
that you can read.
Cool. I appreciate that.
So but it's the same thing. I try to do what interests me,
Mhm.
kind of like what you do. I try to keep it low key, not like you do, because I'm,
Yeah.
But and that's how you get through life, I think, really.
Just do what you love. That's it. Whether it's work or play or hanging out with people, keeping yourself surrounded by the right people. Um, Trying not to have too many, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Certain types of people that you don't want around. Just surround yourself with who you want to be surrounded with.
Yeah, and that way you'll be true to yourself.
Toxic people, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, toxic. I'm thinking static in my head.
No, toxic, static,
Toxic people create static.
Yes, they do. Look at you. You're a poet. You are a poet.
Well, you already knew that. You're cheating.
Not really. I didn't know you wrote books. I knew you did. I knew you did this show, and I knew you did a radio show, but I didn't know you write books.
Yeah.
So you got me on that one.
See,
I
you're
messed
gonna have
up.
to go back and do more
I'm gonna
research.
have to do more research on that one next time.
We're coming back again just because of that faux pas.
I look forward to it.
I do too.
We're not done yet, are we?
Oh my God, I'm having the best time. Well, you have to go about your life, and I just have to say that again, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure's been mine.
And ladies and gentlemen, Rob Rush.